everyone, I, Suvarna Muzumdar, welcomes you on a lecture on 8086 instruction set. In last lecture, we had covered about the addressing modes of 8086. We have discussed that there are 12 addressing modes, and addressing modes are the way how we are giving access to the microprocessor to access the data or operand from where microprocessor gets the data to perform some task. Now, in this particular lecture, I am going to cover about the instruction set, that about how powerful the 8086 instruction set. So, total instructions are divided into 8 types, or we can say we group them into 8. The first group is data transfer instruction. The second one is the arithmetic instruction. Third one is bit manipulation instruction, or we can say the logical instructions. Fourth group consists of string instructions. Program execution transfer instruction means branch and loop instruction. Next we have process control instruction, iteration control instruction, and interrupt instruction. So we will discuss one by one what the group of these instructions consist of. So first one, we are going with data transfer instructions. So in this data transfer instructions, these instructions are used to transfer a data. Here we are using to transfer a data or address into a register, memory location, or IO port. Generally involves two operands. There are two operands. One is the source operand from where we have to transfer the data, and the second one is the destination operand, that is where we have to store our data. The source may be a register, it may be a memory location, or it may be immediate data. Okay, so source may be of 3 types. It may be a register, whether it is AX, BX or CX. Memory location, any location from 1 megabyte of memory which is available for 8086 microprocessor. And the immediate data, that if we are specifying the data in the instruction itself. Second, in case of destination, we have only 2 destination. One is register, where we have to store the data, and second is the memory location. The data or maybe either of byte, that is 8-bit, or a word, that is a 16-bit data. So source may be, we have to match that. We have to use, so if we are using source of 8-bit, then we need to have a location also where we can store the data of 8-bit. Okay, so data 8-bit data can be moved to 8-bit register only or a memory, and 16-bit data can be moved to 16-bit register or memory. So that while writing an instruction, we have to keep this in mind, that we have to match the size of source and destination register. So these are some instructions which are coming under the category of data transfer instruction. Move, this is the you can say mnemonics which we are using. Move, register, we are specifying destination first, and then we are specifying the source. So if we write, we will write move. Okay, yeah. If we are writing move, then we will specify destination first, like I am specifying here AX, comma BX, source register. So the content of BX register will be stored in AX register. This is the way. So move is the instruction which is used to copy the content from one register to another, or we can write an instruction move. Here we are specifying the memory, and the content of BX is copied to the memory, this second case. Third, we can have move BX, comma 1244H. So here we are specifying the memory location, and the content from this memory location get copied to BX. Now here as I am specifying a 16-bit data transfer, bx, here again bx. So from this location we are means microprocessor will transfer two data, one from 1234, another one from 1235. Okay, means it will store here 1234 the bl and bh content. This you have to keep this in mind. The next is, here we are specifying the data. Okay, so here we are specifying immediate data. So we can have move al comma 34h, or we can have move bx comma 28h. Here we are transferring 8-bit data to a particular memory location or in a 8-bit register. If we have to transfer 16-bit data, then in that case we will have to specify a 16-bit register here. Next is exchange. This exchange instruction we have already also we have discussed XCHG in 8085 also. Here the XCHG, we can exchange the content of register 1 like AX comma BX. We can perform a exchange between the content also and between the memory and a register also. So the content of AX and BX get interchanged by using this instruction exchange. Next instruction are push and pop. These are the two instructions which we are using to work with stack. So here we can push content of register or we can push the memory content also. In case we have to push a register content, then in that case stack pointer has to be decremented by 2, and then the content is transferred to the location which is whose base address is stored in SS and whose offset address is stored in SP, and from combination we can generate a physical address, that is, or machine address MA. Okay. In case of push memory, a content from a particular memory location is pushed on the stack. Here again this stack pointer is decremented by 2. While performing a pop operation, the content of register while transferring SP will be incremented by 2. Okay. Next is in, that is while reading an input device. We are using in instruction. So there are two types of in here. One is indirect one. In case of indirect, the address of port address is stored in DX register, means DX register are used to hold the port address, and in case of immediate addressing or we can say immediate mode, we are specifying directly the address of port in the instruction itself. Now here in case of 8086 we will have a 16-bit address for input output device, so we can access 65,536 input output device. Similarly, we are having an out DX comma A. So here we are having this instruction where we are copying a content from accumulator to DX register. Next group consists of arithmetic operation. In arithmetic operation, the instructions are used to perform arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, increment, decrement. Now, these all are performed in case of 8085 also. So the new thing which is introduced in 8086 instruction set is multiplication and division. So these two are the new instructions which are introduced in case of 8086, which are absent or which are missing in case of 8085 instruction. And also here the case is like here we can have a addition with accumulator and with another general purpose register also, means we can change the destination. Here, in case of 8085, one of the operand must be in accumulator. But here you can see that it is not necessary that one operand should be a accumulator. Here, the destination register we will specify, and we will specify the source register, or we can you can say that we can also specify two operands. Now, the two operands which are specified in register 1 and register 2, whichever register we specified first, that register will become the register to hold the result. We can store the result in a memory also. Okay, so in case of 8086 we can specify, like here this instruction is add with carry. Okay, so we can specify add bx comma ax. So ax and bx get the data of ax and bx get added and the result is stored in bx register. Now here in case of add register comma data, here we are specifying the immediate data. The data, if we are going with 16-bit addition, then we will specify 16-bit data. If we are going with 8-bit addition, we will specify 8-bit data. So we are specifying the data in this instruction itself. So this is the case of immediate address data. I can write an instruction like add al comma 34h. Okay, so content of al is added with 34 and result will be stored in al only. So result al get modified means we can say new al content will be modified. So result will be stored in al. Here we can have a memory addition also. We can have a we can specify a memory location. We can add that data at that location. Now in this third case, here we are specifying that one of the operand must be a accumulator. In these two cases, we are just generalize the case that any of the register can be used as a destination register, or you can say the hold to hold the result. But in this case, we are specifying that if we are performing 8-bit addition, then AL will be the place where the result is stored, and if we are performing 16-bit addition, then we are using AX register to hold the result. So mostly our simulator which we are using in a lab or experimental case, the kit which is available to us, in that case we are mostly preferring we are going with this configuration only, that accumulator is used to store the result of after addition. And also you have to keep this in mind that whenever this arithmetic operation is performed, the content of flag register get affected. Okay, before this, in the data transfer instruction, whatever the instruction push, pop, move, exchange we have studied, in that instructions the content of flag register is not modified because that are only the copying instruction or transferring a data from one location to another. But when we are performing an arithmetic instruction, then in that case the content of flag register like carry, auxiliary carry, sign, zero, parity, all these flags get affected. Okay. Next group is sub, that is subtraction. Okay, before subtraction, just I am going to discuss about the addition through carry. Okay, we have a next addition performance that we are considering a previous carry. So in case of addition through carry, the content of register 1 and 2 get added, and also the content of carry flag get added in the result, and then the final result is stored in the destination register. Okay, so we have to specify which register we are considering as a destination register to hold the result after addition. In this case, we have to write ADC instead of add ADD. We are writing mnemonics ADC. Okay, whenever this there is a difference of opcode. So this opcode, whenever the opcode corresponding to ADC reaches to microprocessor, when it decoded, microprocessor comes to know that it has to consider the carry flag also. Okay. Next group of instruction is sub. In case of subtraction, again we have to consider the case. Here you can see that the subtraction took place like register content of register 1 will be the higher one, means we are subtracting the content of register 2 from register 1 and result will be stored in register 2. So you have to keep this in mind that this is the destination where we are storing the result, and then we are specifying the source, but the subtraction would take place between source S minus D, and the result will be stored in D. Now, in case of data, immediate data, here again we are specifying that register which we are specifying, the content of register gets, this data gets subtracted from content of register. Okay. In case of sub A data, here we are specifically discussing about the accumulator register. If we are performing 8-bit subtraction, then in that case we are having sub AL comma data, and if we are performing 16-bit subtraction, then we have an instruction sub AX comma data 16. Now let's take an example for this. You can write it as sub AL comma 34H. Now in this case, the content of AL, whatever will be the content, from this content 34 gets subtracted and the result will be stored in AL. Okay. In case of here the sub B, I can take it like sub memory address we are specifying. We will take 3000 comma, we will specify the data, so we can take it as 24H. So whatever the content at 3000 location, from that microprocessor will reduce value or subtract the value 24, and the result will be stored at that particular memory location only. Now we will have a second group of subtraction, that is subtraction through borrow. Now in case of 8086 also, and in case of 8085, we know that the carry flag is used to store the borrow or carry. Okay, when subtraction it took place, carry flag is behaving like a borrow flag, and when carry addition took place, carry flag is working like a to store the carry, that is higher result. So in case of subtraction, if we write an instruction SBB register 2 comma register 1, then in that case carry flag to be considered. Now the content of register 2 gets subtracted from register 1, and also the carry flag gets subtracted. So microprocessor always check whether the carry flag is 0 and 1. So if in case we are starting our program with initial condition, then we have to, as a programmer, we have to keep this in mind, that whether we want this carry to be 0 or we want to set this carry. So depending on our situation only, it will takes place, consider that carry. Okay. In case of SBB register data, here this is the immediate condition. So we are specifying the register. Suppose we are specifying CX comma data 2340 16-bit data. Okay. So here what will be happen? The content of CX from this 2340 gets subtracted, and also the carry flag, the value of carry flag is used, and then the result is stored in CX. Okay. In case of SBB, AL or DX, here we are considering AL as for 8-bit subtraction, AX for 16-bit subtraction. Now next arithmetic operation is increment. In case of increment, we can have an increment of 8-bit register also, and we can have an increment of data of 16-bit. So for example, I can write INC AL. So if suppose before execution the content of AL is 35, then after execution of this instruction the AL will become 36H. Okay. If I write INC AX, then in that case the content of AH and AL combinedly considered. So here if we say it is 20, it is already 35. So after execution of this instruction INC AX, the content will become 2036. Okay. Now we can have a memory incrementation also, which is not available in case of 8085. In case of 8085, we are not able to increment, only we can increment one memory location by considering INR M. We can do that. Okay, but for that we have to specify the memory address in a HL pair only. But here we can have a direct increment also. Okay. In case of decrement, we are decrementing the value by 1. So, if we are considering DECAH, so what will be the content? Initially it is 20. After execution of this instruction, AH will become 1F. This you have to keep this in mind, that here we are dealing with hexadecimal number. Okay, it will not become 19, it will become 1F. Okay. Now we can have a decrement of 16 bit also, and we can have a decrement of memory content also. The important application, or you can say the important feature of 8086 instruction is the multiplication, that we are having a we have an instruction for multiplication in case of 8086. So now in case of 8086, the multiplication we can have default, we can have a multiplication of content of AX, and or we can say here whatever the register we will specify. Okay, we will specify one of the register, one of the source, the other must be a accumulator. So if we are performing an 8-bit multiplication, then result will be stored after multiplication will be stored in AX. Okay, for example, if I write mul BL, now the content of AL default get multiplied by BL, and the result will be stored in AX, because after multiplication the result must exceed 8-bit. So we need a 16-bit register to store the result of 8-bit multiplication. In case of we are performing word multiplication, that is, if I have written mul, okay, BX, okay. Now in this case, what is going on? The content of AX get multiplied with content of BX. Okay, content of AX get multiplied with content of BX. Now the result will be greater than 16-bit. Maybe so. In that case, DX and AX, these two register, DX will use to store higher order data, and AX will be used to store the lower order data. So after multiplication, the content of AX get modified, and also the flag register get modified. Okay. In case if you can perform multiplication with memory also, means you are specifying the memory address also in the instruction, and the result same result will be stored in accumulator AX if it is a byte multiplication, and if it is 16-bit memory multiplication, then result will be stored in DX and AX. Then we have a signed multiplication also, IMUL. Here we are having a signed multiplication, that we are considering the signed number. Okay, so in that case also the same thing is there, the we are specifying the register, but here microprocessor will takes the consideration of signed, whether what will be the result. So it will give the result according to the signed operation. So here result will be stored in the same location, that in case of byte AX will be used, in case of word DX AX will be used. Next is division. So in case of division, we need divider, we need a dividend and divisor. Okay, so division in case if we our register, that we always defined a divisor. Okay, so div DL, suppose if I am using like this. So my divisor is stored in DL, and dividend is considered in, dividend will be in accumulator only, AX default. Okay, and the result after division, that is quotient and remainder, it is stored in, quotient will be always available in AL register, and remainder will be always available in AH register. So this we have to keep in mind, that if our dividend is 16, divisor is 8-bit, then dividend will be from AX, and the result will be in AL and AH. Now if our divisor is of 16-bit, then definitely our dividend must be greater than 16-bit. So we need a dividend of 32-bit. So in that case, the microprocessor will consider DX and AX as a dividend. So the content of DX and AX will be considered as a dividend. And any register, suppose we have specified BX, then BX is having divisor, and the result after division, the quotient will be stored in AX and remainder will be stored in DX. Similarly, we have division with memory also, means we are specifying not the register. In a divisor is not specified in the register, divisor is specified in a memory location. Whether the divisor is of 8-bit or 16-bit, depending on how we are defining the register. We will have a signed operation similarly. So in case of signed, again microprocessor will do the same thing. If we specify register of 8-bit, then 8-bit division, 16-bit dividend will be there, AX will be the dividend, and the register which we are specifying will be considered as a divisor. Result, that is quotient, is stored in AL register, and result remainder will be stored in AH register. Okay. Then the next instruction is compare. Now there are 3 ways we can have a comparison. We can compare the content of 2 register. Now in case of comparison, you can see that neither of the source register nor the destination register get modified. Only the content of flag register get modified. That CF, carry flag, 0 flag, and SF, sign flag. The content of these flag register get modified. No, neither register 1 get modified nor register 2 get modified. Means if I can have an instruction like sum compare BX comma CX. So the content of CX and BX get compared, but the decision will be taken with respect to BX. Whether the BX is greater than CX, or whether BX is less than CX, or whether BX is equals to CX. So depending on that, carry flag will be set or reset. 0 flag will be set equal, then only 0 flag will be set. Otherwise, 0 flag will be 0. If BX content is less than CX content, carry flag is set and sign flag will be set, indicating that the content of BX is smaller. Now you can have a comparison between BX and any memory location also. So here in case, it will consider 2 memory location and the content of BX get compared with that particular memory location. Now here in this third case, memory content of memory location will having a priority. We have to decide whether the content of memory is greater than register content. Here in this case, we are considering the BX. We are giving the result. Microprocessor is giving result on favor to the register. So this is the difference between these 3 types of comparison. But in all cases, only the flags get modified. Neither of the register content or memory content can modify. So this is all about arithmetic instruction. In next lecture, we can see about the remaining types of instruction, that is logical and bit manipulation instruction, string instruction, branching instruction, and interrupt instruction. So thank you.